Hey, what's up, everyone? So this is my video for the first ministry discussion. And I was honestly a little bit unsure of whether or not we were supposed to make the reading connection to what we have been reading in the past two workshops, uh, or if it was supposed to be about the statistics. But I guess I'll just touch a little bit on both, just just to cover my bases. Um, but as you guys know, I've been here in Elwood for like almost, I mean, I guess I've lived here for only like a few months, but I've been pastoring here now for 2.5 years, which is crazy to think about in and of itself. But one of the things that like I've noticed when we've talked about just the sociology of religion is kind of I've drawn some connections to like the some of the different theories that we've talked about, and how like the people in the church I work at like live religion out. um so like for example, like my and this actually really ties in with statistics, and I don't really have this direct statistics because my church doesn't keep like super strict attendance or anything like that. But one of the things that I've noticed is that my church is very heavily, like most of the attendants are women. um a lot of them, almost all of them, are married, but just the husbands don't come for whatever reason. um and I think it's interesting that the discussion question for um just the statistics this week being about the man or the woman coming to Christ first, because the way that my church is laid out, and I don't know whether or not that stat is true, but the way that the church is laid out, a lot of these women um, are very faithful, like great mothers, but their husband doesn't come to church. And then as their kids have grown up, a lot of them don't go to church anymore. And their prayer, that's a prayer request that they have every week. And so I think it's interesting to see that as a statistic. And my mind goes to like two different places with that. If it's true, like I think that the some of the other men in the church, like an application point for that would be starting a men's ministry of some sort, because our church has a pretty strong women's ministry. Like they're doing like 4 events this next month, and for the men, we haven't done anything that I can think of since I've been here. So it's just kind of, I think that that sort of thing can be an applicable thing for some statistics, is like knowing what sort of ministry programs we need to start. um but I was also just kind of thinking and reflecting about why men might not have come, and I kind of came to like, I kind of crossed hairs with the secularization theory a little bit, and talking a little bit about what Weber and Durkheim talked about, where like I think a lot of men in my area have just rationalized out religion. Like they make enough money, like this is a blue collar town, so like they're working in factories, they're like, doing this and that, and they're going to the football games, all that stereotypical stuff. um and they feel fulfilled in some way, or at least they're acting like it. And so I think that they've kind of like the things that religion would bring for them, they think they find in other places. And so it's just kind of cool to see how the statistics that, or this question that you brought up, Dr. Cruz, has kind of overlapped in my specific context with the secularization theory. But I guess the question that I would have regarding all this is, I don't is just like, one, have you noticed any connections, like any positive connections with like using statistics in your church or in your lifetime, I guess, where it's like led to a beneficial transformation within the church? Because like I don't know how long I'm going to be at this church. I really love it here. Um, but I could, if I could see like us doing some more work on like looking at these statistics and trying to develop something for men to try and encourage them to come and see why church is important again. But yeah, so that's kind of where my mind is at with this discussion. I'd love to see what you guys think.